Hi guys. Alright. Here to talk a little bit of business today. Little bit of business. So the deal is, if you're starting a business, I wanted to put a few things out here. You know, whether it's nonprofit, for-profit, or any type of, I believe the other one was like, it's like a reoccurring thing, but it only happens within the business and just kind of continues. So if you're doing that, I wanted to go ahead and get to the prep phase. You don't want to put any money towards it unless you actually have some way of making it go. And that was kind of the biggest thing, and still is the biggest thing for me. So I didn't mess up. I actually played it really smart. I got it going. So that's the deal. I have it. I have the actual paperwork, have everything here. But the deal is, you never put anything in it. And the reason why you don't put anything in it is so that way you don't get taxed. Because that's technically, you have to put everything into your business. Like if you have any revenue, anything like that, you put it into it. So don't get taxed. Wait, build up your stuff, make sure you have it, and that's what I'm doing too. I'm still in the prep phase. So that would be Liberty and Privacy and Liberty. That would be Privacy and Liberty Inc. That's what I'm working on. It's on there. It's online. Whenever it's put up there, they think it's a law firm, so I actually have an online area for it. It's not really a law firm. It's actually different, and it works with the law a lot. It's very specific, and that's kind of what the law was intended to be, was specific, but it was also supposed to be comprehensible to the general public, not to lawyers. So it wasn't meant to pander to certain people. But unfortunately, political effects took effect, and you have those in there. So, with what the law says and everything else, and even everything that we got, you just hold off onto it, you hold it, and the way that this one's set up is to work on subscriptions. So if you're curious, it's like subscription for land. That's pretty much what it is. You pay your subscription, you got a land. And that's the fundamental process of it. But it's very different, has a lot of different areas, a lot of different motives at the same time, and there's lots of functions that go into this plan, and it's a super duper plan. It brings a lot of revenue, but it also impacts the environment in such a very different way that I would technically not be making anything out, except for my own, it'd be like privacy. It would literally go under privacy at that point. It would be the privacy that you get is the same privacy that I get. So you would both be, like, you and somebody else would both be entitled to the same thing as I would be, even though I am the person who is the owner of it. So that's the whole deal that you would get with the subscription, and that's about it, and it's really cheap. So that piece is just a tiny piece, but a secondary piece. It's also fundamentally huge, and that's why I believe that it would really make a change and really make a difference, especially with government holding of the land. It would actually counteract that. So the deal is, it would be giving you your land, and for far less of a price than charging it based on what they think. That would literally be the concept, and it would break that formation and all that hold, and they will not have any more power on that. So you can't do those. The only person that'd be able to do that is by setting it all up in a very different way, and you can still do it within a currency that we have today. And this is part of the process with it, and it's supposed to have other people come in for company bases, pretty much. Companies come in, companies areas. That's perfect. This is kind of what I was hoping for, kind of what I wanted, and I have a few people set up, but they're meant to do the influencing. So this is just business talk right now. I am right now telling you so that way you know. And I already said the name. I'll say it again so that way you know. Is Privacy and Liberty Inc. There is a GoFundMe for this, and it does cost a lot to do, but it's also a lot that we are doing. So the GoFundMe would be again for Privacy and Liberty Inc. But I believe because of the way that it's set up, because you have to have some sort of income coming through to get that going. But the way I have it set up is set away it doesn't. So it's coming from an individual account than it is coming from an actual charity's account. It is a charity, by the way. It is a non-profit. That's the one I'm going on. And it is meant to help a lot of people. People in need too, and home health care and everything else. It is meant for individual care though. Not just to be stuck in one facility. But I understand that certain people do need to go to those facilities. But we're also all going to have our own rights on those lands without being territorial. And that would be the whole entire part with being in unity. A good unity. So there's many fundamental parts about it that is fascinating and real, that I really believe it should be a thing. I personally love it. I will try to put a link in the description. I'm still new on the YouTube channel, somewhat. Like, at least with a phone. I'm not too super duper with a phone. This one is kind of recorded in a weird way, but it's the only way I can because it's kind of recorded strange. Mainly for phone users at this point. I had some other Let's Talk D&Ds. Those are really good. Still kicking those out. Trying to think real quick on anything else that I could possibly let you in on. Okay, planning on unboxing videos, planning on gaming, it's entertainment. Planning on entertainment stuff, pretty much, of those like props or anything like that. Those things just interest me as well as a person. I like video gaming. I like, actually learning quite a bit though. So there's two things. They're not really contrast, but they're more consistent with each other. I know that both take time, but I could do both on the phone and things of that nature. So it's really funny, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay. Which one's more important? Oh, excuse me. And then I also got certain life matters that are happening as well. I don't really know super much more I can say about me as a person. I don't really think I said too much other than Deathless Zane. The whole idea is I'm going to be promoting things. I'm also going to be selling things. I like the law, law-abiding citizens. I love that. I like police force. I like military. At the same time, I'm upset with military. I'm upset with the government at the moment. But, things will come to pass, and that's all be over, and all be over soon. But if you get petty, there's always a way around things. So, here is as a comforting person, don't let people get you down if they believe in something different, because that does not mean that you are messed up in any way, because this is psychology, okay? This is psychology war at this point, whenever you're fighting with somebody else with their own belief. But if their belief is contradicting your belief and they're trying to force their belief on you, don't let them. Why? Because once they do, they're just going to try to strong arm you into anything that they want. Strong arming you is pressuring you. pressuring you to do whatever they want, which is manipulative, right? Don't fall for any of those tricks. Don't fall for anything. Make sure you look into those, do your research, and I mean like even all the way to the military and what they are doing, what they don't do, what is shady, what isn't shady, what they will and will not answer, why they won't answer it. If they can't give you a direct answer, that means they're being deceitful. Same thing with actually the lawyers. Having a problem with lawyers, they're deceitful. Having a problem getting a lawyer, they're deceitful. Having a problem going over there to court, it's actually because they're deceitful. Having a problem with all these proceedings, it's because they're deceitful. They don't want to progress the proceedings. They want to debate on those proceedings. All right? I don't think I spelled that right for like 2 words, but I'm tired. But you look at them, they should be able to have a process. This is the thing that always bothered me. They should always have a process that was quick, easy, simple to do. Why does it take so much time to do a case? Why does it take so much time to do all these things? Well, they like to say it's a process. It really isn't a process because it sucks. The process that they try to do is to try to communicate with another one. What they really need is someone on standby. If they have those people on standby, right, they would get everything done quicker. You don't need a lawyer for your own company. You need a lawyer for there to be able to do all of those different type of laws and to be able to be on hand if somebody needs it and to be able to help anyone who does need it with a disability, especially being that you cannot go over there by yourself, right? But who gets that right? Veterans. Veterans get that right. And you're like, really? Yes. They have the right to go in there, go right into court, and go and actually do a thing where they can get someone else in the court. I believe that's their own case. But the idea and the sneaky truth about it is you can actually self-file yourselves. In Texas, as far as I'm aware, it is the only one that I know of that you can actually file yourself to go into a court system. You don't need an attorney. By the way, I want to go ahead and break the code and the ice on that. An attorney is only meant there to make you seem more credible. But what you don't know about the attorney is that the attorney talks behind the other attorney, or talks to the other attorney on the other side to determine which one is the bad guy, or what they're going to do and how they're going to set up the act of how it's going to work. And so they also talk to the judge. Now, why is this more important? Is because, one, you have to have somebody who really strongly believes with you and not going to take someone else's side. However, you have a shady, most of the time, what the experiences were, is you have a shady, very shady lawyer. Unfortunately, lawyers are shady. So, what are we going to do? We're going to get away with this corrupt system. This corrupt system is awful, and why? You would just go to a different country. That's how it works. These people are awful. This system is awful. Why would you stay here? That's true. Except that you are a citizen, so you should suffer through it. No, we don't have to suffer through it. We don't need to. We don't have to put through it. Are we willing to? Sometimes we are. That's kind of it. And are we willing to go through segregation the way that they're doing it, which they are? And are we going through everything else, like as in, are we going to go over there and try to help the border and then be discouraged from trying to help the border because we're different? Well, that's kind of what's been kind of a little bit happening. And I mean that as in going to military. But when it comes to border patrol, I was told, now trying to get across to them is a little bit more difficult, but I was told that there was areas you can go that allow you with disabilities on there as well. So, you're wanting Border Patrol, there's certain things, different areas, different functions in there into Texas, as far as I'm aware, that it will actually give you jobs. And that was cool from Georgia Bot. I do like that of Georgia Bot. And remember, this is mainly built on opinions. And that's why I like this. I like opinions. So everything I said was an opinion. A freedom of speech, right. Opinion. It's not a hate speech. It's not a petty speech. I was demonstrating that there was petty, but it's not a petty speech. I still reside in Texas. Thank you. All right. And I do respect quite a bit of military people that I do know and have known, and also that were in my family. But there are some people that are not getting there just because they're different in a different way. But they have the capability to keep up within the military. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.